shamed athlete Oscar Pistorius has left prison this morning, almost 11 years after he shot and killed his girlfriend, model Reeva Steenkamp.
The ex-Paralympic gold medalist has been released on parole and is now at home, according to South Africa's Correctional Services Department. Joining us now is Tania Koen, lawyer and spokesperson for Reeva's mother, June. Tania, thank you so much for talking to us. Now, you, the family, knew this day was coming. Talk us through, from the family's perspective, what today means, because I know they've had some kind of contact with Oscar Pistorius as part of the, the process for him to be released from prison. This must be for them a difficult day.
On the contrary, I want to say it's not a difficult day if compared with the fact that Reeva died. June and Barry have always said, they've put it into perspective and said that the worst day of their lives was the day that Reeva died. So whether Oscar remains in prison or is released, they knew that day was also coming because they've always known that's what the South African justice system states, that any offender is eligible to be considered for placement on parole, and if they meet that criteria, they will be released. So it's part of my job as an attorney to prepare them mentally, and I did that from the start. So today came as no surprise to them.
Tania, your sound quality, unfortunately, isn't very good. We'll just try to address that. The statement that we have, and I absolutely can understand this, saying that the 14th of February 2013 was the day our life changed forever, the day South Africa lost its hero, Oscar Pistorius, and the day Barry and I lost our precious daughter, Reeva, at Oscar's hands. Now, almost 11 years later, the pain is still raw, it's real. My dear late husband, Barry, and I never been able to come to terms with Reeva's death or the way she died. There can never be justice if your loved one is never coming back, and no amount of time served will bring Reeva back. We who remain behind are the ones serving a life sentence. With the release of Oscar Pistorius on parole, my only desire is that I will be allowed to live my last years in peace, with my focus remaining on the Reeva Rebecca Steenkamp Foundation to continue Reeva's legacy.
I think we can go back to Tania if we can. Talk us through, for those of us who aren't familiar with the justice system in South Africa, how does this play out? What kind of conditions will Oscar Pistorius being kept in?
All right, so firstly, they participated in a victim-offender dialogue where Barry met with Oscar. June didn't want to attend that meeting. When Oscar was eligible to be considered for parole, which was when he had served a certain portion of his sentence, a parole hearing convened, and that was in March this year. June attended that parole hearing where she opposed his parole, but Oscar himself didn't want to meet with June at the parole hearing, and he, in fact, was seen by the parole board afterwards. The parole board then did make a decision that he wasn't eligible to be considered, which prompted Oscar to approach the Constitutional Court to get directive from the Constitutional Court that he was, in fact, eligible to be considered.
Then it was in November of last year. I'm so sorry, Tania, just because of your line, we've got some interference on it. We'll have to leave it there for now. Tania Koen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
But the timeline was that it was November last year that then he was eligible for parole, and therefore today, and it was just an hour ago that he was released from prison. We should be clear, he's not kind of a free man. He's under lots of conditions. And the really awkward side of this story, whenever there is something like this, there are safety concerns for Oscar Pistorius and people having to put in preparations to make sure that he now isn't at risk now that he is out of prison, staying in his uncle's home.
Indeed, and as you say, there are conditions. He is banned from drinking alcohol. He is banned from talking to the press following his release.
So, crucially, we won't hear from him directly because, not because sort of no one's tried to speak to him. He's not allowed to have any communication.
Indeed, and he must also have therapy for anger and gender-based violence issues. And as we heard there, the statement from June Steenkamp, a very powerful, emotive statement there, saying about the day her life changed forever.
And June was talking about Reeva's mother, saying she was worried about other women and maybe what kind of risk Oscar Pistorius might pose. And so she had said that kind of anger management, those courses, they were essential as part of the process of releasing Oscar Pistorius from prison. We'll keep you up to date on this story.